That's just so.
And we live. I have to go live since we already a few minutes behind. You know what I'm saying? We live, let you know. I mean, we stay live though. We live in this thing, so we stay live even when we're not live on social media. We still live.
So we stay live. Okay. I like
You
it.
know.
Absolutely.
How are you doing today? Welcome to another episode of Bridging the Gap. Wealth is Gangster, the network. Got some big things coming. We're
And
already
I'm
here.
ready to
Really,
hear.
I just haven't really promoted it yet. That's the only reason why we haven't started it because I need to.
Okay.
We working on the campaign to build up to like the season 2. You know all this. We try to get our network on. You know how the networks be doing.
Yes, yes, yes. You
Yeah. So
preparing the field. Preparing the field for the
yes, ma'am.
game. Oh yeah. For the real
Got to.
game.
So how are you
Yeah, I
today?
saw I am busy,
Regular.
regular busy, but productive
Well,
busy. That's the goal. The goal is to be
that's
productive
good.
busy. I put in full days, I
Mhm.
promise. Yes, I put in the full day, and I've done it again.
So
I've done it
done
again.
it again.
Hmm.
Well,
It
so
was
how things been going? What's new? We know you about to go on a road trip, another
yeah,
road trip
yeah,
for the summer.
yeah. That's what I was telling the grandkids. I said, "Oh yeah, well we went west. Now it's time to go north. Time to go home, Indiana." And so that's like a 15-hour trip. We'll stop midway and sleep over because my beautiful 83-year-old mom will be traveling with us. And so that'll give her a nice little break. And then we'll travel on in uh, and do what is necessary there, support the family, one another, and then head back on Monday, give her Sunday a day to rest, and then we'll head on back this way. Um, yeah, they say the things you do for love and a
Yeah,
family. That's what we got to take care of one another. And when
be
one of
there
us
for one.
leaves, yeah, when one of us takes wings, catches their wings, it does give us all the opportunity to come back to come together, reflect, support one another because it's difficult. I'm still in some stages where I can only imagine. Lost my dad, but not lost. I know where he is. Okay, I know what he left in me, and I'll be doing my thing. I'll be living like Charlie. I'm living large, and I'm trying to get exactly to where he was. My dad loved children, and he didn't really meet any strangers, especially not kids. So I know nowadays we talk about you can't talk to nobody kids. You can't right? It wasn't a kid that my dad wouldn't talk to. Okay. And I know yesterday I kind of slept maybe on the opportunity, but I was kind of doing something. I'm headed into the Walmart, and three little girls is coming out the Walmart with the Walmart people following them. And I'm like, ooh, in my mind, I want to just say, hey, babies, probably walking off is not going to work in your favor. Maybe you should just stay and resolve the issue. If you ain't did nothing, you ain't did nothing. If you took something, you can get in trouble because you just got caught. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, I didn't get involved, but it was difficult not to just say, hey, babies, you know. And so I remember that, so much about my dad. Didn't matter where he was, didn't matter who it was. He just loved children like that. And he talked to him, engage him or whatever. Uh, he had a he had a different reputation. I just love because we're bridging the gap, so I get to talk from my experience, right?
Sure, for sure. Yes.
And so my dad had another kind of relationship with the nieces, nephews, grandkids alike, and they all talk about how my dad would bite them. That sounds weird, don't it? It does sound weird. I don't know what kind of trouble they get into.
To
I
get
go,
bitten.
I remember my cousin Cecil, he used to suck his thumb and he had gotten big on up in age, you know. And I think I remember my dad, you know, grabbing him and biting his thumb or something. But that's what, you know, he was remembered for. And I think sometimes my dad would do things to make sure that, or to see if you would fight up, you know, stick up for your own self. Like how much you gonna let me do before you speak up? And then by the time you speak up, you get, you know, hey, then I think maybe there was a safety in knowing this one will be all right. This one gonna make it. But if you let somebody do stuff to you, nah, we can't do that. I don't know. I don't know what his thoughts were, but you gotta have lots and lots. Uncle Charlie ever bit you? And then my one boy, I wanted him to name his daughter after my dad, Charlie. And he said, Mommy, let me be honest with you. I don't have no such good memories. So I'm telling you, they riding in the car and Dad said, don't touch that window. One of the older boys reaches over and touched the window and Nick gets in trouble for it. And he haven't forgotten. My daddy bit him. I wish I could explain it. But they do. They have conversations and then you have anywhere you go. And then you have conversations about who got the whoopings, right? And who did you ever get a whooping by Aunt Stella? And Aunt Stella could whoop now. Aunt Stella was, I hear she was mighty fine, okay? I ain't catching no whoopings from Aunt Stella. And Alice, if you call Aunt Stella, I was talking to a cousin this morning that called. And he's like, me, the first name I learned, that's the name you're going to get, okay? Tony, you can go change your name to something else. But I'm going to have a hard time. And I would say, I know my Michael Lane, that's the first name I learned, but I know respectfully now he has taken on other names and not in any disrespectful way would I say Michael Lane, but that's just the name that I, you know, it's kind of like the name I grew up with calling him. And so I have an aunt, Aunt Alice. And Aunt Alice became a Muslim. And so then she became Aunt Karima. And if you couldn't say Aunt Karima, and you call her Aunt Alice, like for me, she might not maybe talk to me like for a long time. I think I was probably up old enough to where I wasn't going to get a whooping. But my little cousin I talked to today, he said, yeah, he said, I was too little. I couldn't say that name like that. So he say, Aunt Alice, and she whoop him. And he's just, okay, Aunt Alice, by the time it's finished. And I'm like, oh my. So, yeah. So, it's just interesting, bridging the gap, how things have changed. It's you know,
family dynamics, though, you know, and that's it. We don't have the family memories. See how you just over there smiling, just remembering about the little funny things, and for a lot of different reasons, we have more traumatic experiences as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Of course, there's still great moments and stuff, but I don't meet people that sit around and talk about the past like you just did, and that's sad. That's a sad thing because you just sitting back and just going down memory lane, smiling, and like you almost right back at that very moment, and you just going back time, and it's just a beautiful moment for you, and it should be for everybody. Like you know what I'm saying, like.
Yeah.
Like even me, I don't have such a traumatic. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wired different. So maybe some people would say I grew up traumatic, but it wasn't traumatic to me. I love the way I grew up because I love the way I turned out. So,
okay, you know, come on now.
Yeah. So I don't look at anything as like, oh man, that messed me up and that traumatized me. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like technically, people would say I'm traumatized by certain events that I've seen, but I don't feel that way. You know, but people, when I run across people now, it's actually we talk about family like it's so dark now. Everything
right
about family. Everything is I don't trust them. I don't fool with them. I only mess with a couple. I'm speaking of myself. I'm not talking about nobody. I'm speaking of myself too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I'm just thinking. As you saying all that, I'm listening to you and watching you enjoy the moment, and it just goes back to man. Why we don't have that in today's present time?
Well, let me encourage you.
For the majority.
Let me encourage you that it is in phases. I haven't been here the whole time.
For sure.
And so there was a time when there were things that I was extremely, bitter about. Like I'm sure. Well, I think real close to, if I didn't, I call it child abuse. I couldn't figure out what I could do to deserve the whoopings I got.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, hold
definitely
up, I'm
these
the
days.
child. What is you doing?
These days, it definitely will be considered child abuse.
Yeah, it would. And then, I think about one son. Because I was so close to it. So the oldest one, he was closer to that laying on of hands stage or throwing of the shoe stage, things like that. And so I hear him lament, every once in a while he'll bring it back. But I think, again, like I say, you work through it. Somehow you work through it. I still have some sensitivities, but true enough, I try to reason, like, why did that happen? Why was it like that? And I can probably guarantee you that it was who I was and what it was that all parents want their children to, number one, survive. And then you want their success. If there's no survival, there's no success. So I really feel like my dad saw what was in me, that's still in me, and he was going to make sure that didn't take me away from here. Because I'm the one that, probably, at whatever age, however young I was, we going to protest, I'm going with you. Yeah. That stand up, like you have a child, you say sit down, they standing, but then they sit down, but they still standing on the inside. I'm that child. And then you have children who you say stand up, sit down, and they just follow. But I've always been in my mind. I've always been a thinker, and then I've always been what makes sense to me. That's what I'm moving on. And so, in seeing that, I think about. It's so good. We just get to reminisce today, but I think about being in Miss Williams' class, and this was a Black teacher, first grade or kindergarten, whenever you started school back in the day when I started, and she was mean. And I remember cutting school. I'm that young. What in my mind? Daughter of Charlie. What? But that was who I had to be. It wasn't who I became. I was too young. It wasn't anything I calculated. It had to be what I came here with and what it was that I would be doing as I continue throughout my life. But I know how to do it and sustain my life. I remember that I got on the table, and I don't know if you know the dance, the Funky Chicken. Rhonda K on the dance on the table at the school doing the Funky Chicken. So when I talk about the beatings, it could have been a little bit of something I was doing, but he was going to make sure that I understood that wasn't going to be done, and that doing that would not be, advantageous to my future. Not just, him as a family. I do believe that the discipline was out of love, but the love was tempered in a way that a kid like me, I didn't have no way of understanding. It was back in them times when I'm not doing a bunch of explaining. You better figure it out. Yeah. So I catch whoopings and I didn't even know where they came from. I had to sit later on the WEPs. Y'all, anybody know what WEPs is? Yeah. WEPs.
I know what it is. I know okay. You can't even sit down. I know you can't sit down because you got a paddling.
What you sitting? My boys, the grand on your hand, it just wasn't no relief. But I had probably done some things. I remember one time I must have got a poor score on my report card or something, and I thought I'd signed my daddy's name. His handwriting wasn't as good as my mama's, so I figured I'd fake his. Yeah, he found out. They found out. Yeah, I go. It's party time again. And so all of that, like what kid does that? What is you doing, Rhonda? And then I remember now saying things like that about my nieces, my nephews, like, don't you know who your mama is? Don't you know? Because to me, they are very strict to me. Because as you get older, it's like, oh, they kids. That's what kids do. I know because I did it, And
For real.
I would think, why would you even consider? You know your mama's strict. You know your mama gonna take everything. Why would you do it? Why? And then they just have to learn who they mama and them is. And I'm like, I wouldn't do it. I really tried not to catch some whoopings, but I still say it's what's in me. When I think about my life and my attitude toward life now, there's some things that just make me move. That's what I'm getting ready to do. There's no counting the cost. This is what's necessary for right now. So I'm getting ready to get in it. Period.
Oh, yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that's that spirit in you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know. My career of running away started because I told myself I wasn't taking no more whoopings. Like, so that's
you know
really
what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh no, I'm through with the whooping days. I mean, I probably was like 10, 11 years old when I told myself I was through with getting whoopings. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, because like it wasn't like regular whoopings. Like it might be with a broom, might be with a switch, stitching cord, like whatever was closest. Really, like
same here.
Yeah, so I was through with those. I was through with whoopings anyway, but I was through with those type of just random whoopings with anything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, it's a better life somewhere.
Let me say somewhere. Now for me, okay, I thought things was pretty bad. I thought I might leave, right? I might have left for a couple of hours, but it's something about food, shelter, and some food, shelter. It's something about food and shelter.
Yeah.
That I said, no, I'm going to have to stick it out. I'm going
Yeah.
to have to do what I got to do, finish the school, and go. I'm going straight to the college because I'm going to need to leave these people because I don't know what's wrong with them. So my philosophy was that, as opposed to thinking somehow, oh, I wasn't gonna make the first day.
See, mine was the opposite because I was like, okay, and that's why I tell people, and especially when I talk to the youth, like I'm not no street guy. I never want to be the hardest gangster street dude or nothing. I would just put in a certain environment that I was like, okay, to make money in this way, today, every day, fast, good amounts, I have to be this type of person to survive.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot of our youth are. Is like I deal with youth that's real hardcore to some people, and I get around them. I'm like, no, they not. But I understand because I remember in certain environments, I was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. In other environments, I have the gun and I do whatever I got to do to survive. You know, I was that person, and that's why I'm so strict when people be like, well, the wealthiest gangster, the CEO Youth League. What about your image? If you with kids, every dollar saving the kids, I'm the guy that might be with a council member. I'm the guy that might be with some gang members. I'm the same guy that be in all these elements, but what my message and what I'm about never changes. You know what I'm saying?
Change. I agree.
I'm not about to be in no predicament where since I want to do good for the community, I can't even hang out with people in the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm never going to take that position in a lot of people. And I put that as a title today, and it covers a lot of different ways.
What's the title?
The pressures of building our community. That's one of the pressures.
Running through. Okay, the pressures of building our community.
Because we face a lot of pressures, of course, resources, of course, systems, of course, the lack of a team, of course, all the regular business stuff, right? But then we got the situations where, okay, well, since you're dealing with kids now, you have to operate like this. How many times do you go to church every month? What do you're like? It's a whole list that I'm supposed to do off now that I'm quote unquote doing good for the community. I'm like, no, I'm just a black man that woke up and wanted to do better. I didn't go to prison. I didn't go to church. I didn't do nothing. I just woke up one day and wanted to be a better black man. That's it. Like, I'm not going to be in no pressures where now I got to go kick it with the deacons. And I'm cool with some deacons. But I might be with the deacon the next minute. I might be with the gangsters one minute. I might have them all in the same room at the same time. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm about and what I stand for and what I'm trying to build, that never changes. I just don't. I just get to a point where I'm really gonna call out, not the people, the mindset, because it's not a personal thing.
I like that.
It's not a personal thing. It's the mindset that since now you're doing this, you have to be like this.
Yeah. So what you remind me of, or what you reminded me of, going to school. First one in my family to go to school and graduate. Others went to school, but maybe they hadn't graduated by the time I had. They've graduated since. And so when you go to school and college and you graduate college, you're supposed to be so different as if you can no longer fit in with the people that you love, the people that you grew up with. So I didn't have that. I can't be around y'all, or if I couldn't be with my family, my friends who I'm comfortable with, then I wasn't going to trade out, leave them to go and be something that I'm not, to be in another group, as far as elevating, I guess, myself. So I like what you said when you said I can be in this position, or this position. And that's the same thing with me. And if somebody can't handle that, I can go across whatever spectrum, I'm good. There's some places I'm not good, I'm sure. But if necessary, I'll be that too, if that's what I'm really about. If I say I love humanity, if I say I love my people, then which one is it that I may not be equipped for all of them, but I'm trying to get them to wherever they can go, but I'm not above them at all. I'm not. And I, like you said, and I am more comfortable with real life people than I am with the dignitary people. Because I just want packaged that way. No hate, no shade. Yeah. Do your thing and do your thing well. Don't let anybody outdo you doing you. That's what's important. And so, yeah, that's me. If I love, I love being around all kinds of people. Yeah. But then I have to be extremely honest with myself. There's some things that I don't enjoy doing that don't fit. They just don't fit my personality. Yeah. They just don't.
And that's okay too.
It's so cool.
That's cool. And that's why when I put that topic, I'm talking about society, but I'm talking about us on each other too. Every time we talk about something, the first thing I always tell you is what? It's no pressure. You tell me what works for you. I don't never want you to feel pressured to do a certain thing that's outside of your comfort zone. For me, I wouldn't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To me, that's not a good friend, whatever you want to call it, a partner, whatever you want to call it, to put pressure on anyone that's outside of what they're comfortable with doing. Like the conversation I have with you, I have with everybody that I do any kind of business with.
That's awesome.
On your terms that fits your schedule, your life, and everything. How can we build? That's all I need to know. Once I know that, I'm good. All I need to know is that. Once I know that, I'm good. We can figure it out from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because I understand that a lot of us fall out, a lot of us bump heads. A lot of that is because we're putting pressure on each other. That one, the person didn't ask for it. Two, the person might not even be equipped for it. I told you the story about my brother. I was putting pressure on him with my food truck, and I was mad at him for about a year. I said, right?
Yeah.
He never asked one time, bro, give me a food truck so I can run it. He said, bro, open up a barbecue place and I'll barbecue. I'll be the pit master. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But I took that and got a food truck and opened up this and opened up that and wanted him to run it. He never asked to run no food truck. Yeah. So I was the bad CEO. I was the bad big brother. I was the bad, and the whole time I was upset with him until I had to realize and check myself. I put pressure on him that he never asked for. And sometimes we do that and we'll be like, well, such and such wasn't no good partner, or such and such didn't come through. Okay, but what was the details of that situation? Like, they might have been perfect for a perfect situation, but you probably asked them to do something they was incapable of doing. So in that case, they're not so bad. You're the bad leader because you're asking someone to do a task that they're not even fit for and never asked for. So that's another. Like I say, it's different pressures I'm talking about. I just put it as a blank statement. But overall, from our community, from ourselves, from our peers, from our business partners, from our people, our relationships, everything. Sometimes we always need to watch the pressures that we're asking and different things that we're asking the person that we're business with, relationship with, or just building with. We need to watch that pressure, make sure it's something that they cool with, can handle, and will accept.
There you go. And so I think that what you're saying makes all the sense in the world. And like with my nephew, you work with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great nephew. So that's bridging really, so bridging some gaps. But anyway, you work with him, and I can say that I know that you're not putting pressure on him about pretty much anything. Now, but when it comes to me, I would probably more than likely try to pressure him. But I've learned it does not work.
No.
It actually gets me the opposite of what I want.
Yeah.
And so this is a really good jewel community for us to understand that there's some dynamics to things before we get, because it was Tony said he was all tied up in a wad. I could be tied up in a wad about what somebody didn't do, couldn't do, I thought they should do, right? It's a lot easier if I loosen those expectations, if I take the time to understand the capabilities, how people are equipped, and whether or not they're even motivated in the area in which I'm expecting something from them. And then there's a young man, Lenny, that I work with. He helped me out tremendously, bridging the gap. Don't ever think you can't listen to somebody who's younger than you. And you definitely need to be sitting at the people who are older than you, even if you learn from their mistakes. If you learn what they're living that may not be producing what you want, you can learn from anybody. I told you what this dog was going to do. Hey, hi. She'll be barking at me in a minute. Then I'm going to let her out. But yeah, that's a really good jewel to say before you get tied up in a why. Because we're trying to bridge the gap. We have work to do. We have families to mend. Okay. We have people who need us desperately. And we want to be there for them desperately. And if we're not able to be there for them desperately with the tools that we now have, then you can use the tools that we're sharing here in bridging the gap. Loosen those expectations. Let them move in an arena. Give them opportunity. Yeah. And let them show you what they're capable of before you get upset. And if they've already told you something, you might want to listen. You just might want to listen. It would be helpful to keep you and them in a way, with two-way communication without somebody shutting down. And then all of a sudden, we're not getting where we need to get to as a community and as a people.
Yeah, and that's why, because I've been noticing that even, man, it's so many different ways with pressure. Like I've been noticing this a scammer, like it's other black men going after other black men saying they're scamming the community, right?
True.
And is it scams that happen? That's life. Everybody, it's somebody always scamming somebody. But to me, it's getting too just painted with a broad brush. And I can't get scammed, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's no way I can get scammed. Can I invest in something and lose money? Yeah. Can I give somebody some money and what they said was gonna happen don't happen? Yeah, that's a possibility. But that's business. That's life. That person didn't scam me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's people. If I thought like that, it was people right now I would probably hate this. And a couple of them are millionaires that owe me. They don't really owe me. The business didn't go the way that we thought it was going to go. I'm understanding to that. Instead of me calling them a scam or ruin their relationship, we found other ways to make money, because I understand that, hey, this was the play. The play didn't happen the way I thought. Boom, we didn't get this one. Let's swing for the next one. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Our community is so low on the financial literacy, even though we're a lot farther in the last 5-10 years than we have been in a long time. Let me say that first of all. You know, it's a lot of powerful things, great things going on. But overall, we're still, everything's a scam. Building wealth is a scam. Money is a bad thing. And I was listening to Tariq the other night, and it was so true that a lot of our people have oh man, I'm 40, but I'm not. Oh, so I never really watched Good Times like that. But what's the mama name?
I know her real name, Esther Roll. What was her name on the show?
I can't remember. Mama? But no. if you watch that show, I only watched a few episodes.
Florence. Is it Florence?
Huh?
I think it's Florence. Is it Florence?
No, I think that's the other
That's
one.
the maid?
No,
Florence is
that's
the maid.
the other one. You're talking about the Jeffersons. I'm talking about
Yeah,
Good
but she came off. Okay. Her real name is Esther Roll, but I can't remember. Okay. Okay.
But her thing is, if you see it in our community now, if you would notice the few episodes I've seen, but people that have told me that really watched it, she was always scared of money. She was scared to coming up. Every time it was a way to get out the hood, she would figure out that no, that's bad money. We don't want that. And a lot of us are still scared of money, right? A lot of us are still scared to progress. That's why I tell people all the time, I know millionaires. I've been around millionaires. I've had meetings with them. I did this and I did that with them. I've never heard a millionaire say be humble. I hear that from poor people. And you got to ask yourself why. Because it's a mentality that if you're trying to go for this goal, be humble because you can always come back down to us. It's really a way of saying that I hope you come down to us. You know what I'm saying? I hope you fall off. I'm looking forward to the day you fall off. Don't get a big head. Don't get... No, you're supposed to be feeling yourself. If you come from nothing and you built a multi-million-dollar whatever, you're supposed to be feeling yourself. You should be saluting that person. That's what I'm talking about. You made it out. You can help the people. You can do like cheer them. Don't find a way to tell them they can lose it because that's just the mindset. You know what I'm saying? Of us not really. That once again, it's pressure. We have pressure. That's why we look at money as a bad thing, greed or this and that.
You're frozen.
Or if I say I want to be a billionaire, I'm buffering a little bit. But even though other people took the millions and billions and they did devilish stuff with it, don't mean we can't make billions and do godly stuff with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't scare me from having riches. And don't they talk about that in the Bible? I mean, you know, I'm not an expert in the Bible, but from what I hear, you're not supposed to be in debt and you're supposed to be a plentiful richness, right?
Well, there are plenty of scriptures about wealth in the Bible. Those are not the scriptures that are utilized for the purpose of the civilization in which we find ourselves in. There's an assigned place for us, and they utilize that word for that. And so that's what we hear all the time. And the other ones do, they just kind of pass us by. I absolutely see and understand what you're saying, that mindset, that conditioning is there where, you know, if somebody made it, we side eye in them instead of upping them. Some, not all.
No.
But even the few mindset where those are the ones that's loudest, the ones that's, you know, we kind of quiet on the, I might call you and tell you, where I might not tell you in front of a group of people. And then we have to just flip the script and let the ones who've been so loudmouthed about dimming other people's shine, we have to quiet them with our showering of those who have made it. We have to say it loud.
Yeah.
And we have to say it often. Yeah. And we can't say it enough.
Mm-hmm.
And we might, you know, we have to start with the little stuff till they even get to the big stuff, knowing that if we can encourage them at step 1, they can get to step 10. They can get to where they're trying to go. But why make it harder? And then, you know, if you don't have anything good to say, keep your mouth closed. Just don't even say it. If you don't have something good to say, be quiet. And then, it's very concerning, because it sabotages us. Because when you say everybody's saying this person, that person is a scammer, we're saying it in social networks that have followings of many of our people. And so that's what makes it so damaging, is that it's so many people hearing this thing, and it's already compounded by us coming up in a society and a school system that has negated our ability to do anything, hidden our history. And if you don't have somebody in your house telling you how great Benjamin Banneker was, telling you about Jet Magazine and the author of Jet and all of the other great things that we've done, then you have almost no ability to grasp anything else. Yeah. So that's what it is. So I don't like it, like you said, when you got to call somebody, just keep your mouth closed. It'll come out in the wash, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Do you have to be the reporter?
Yeah.
Did it have to be you? Because now you look suspect.
Yeah,
Because you pulling somebody else down.
yeah.
And
Especially
I remember with Jay Morrison, he was getting some of that, and you know me, I just think everybody read everything I put on the post. But anyway, I interjected.
They do.
They do. Okay. But I put on there, I said, baby, you remember why you did what you did, and you do what you said you was gonna do.
That's it.
So while somebody is thinking individual and they're looking for when I'm gonna get $5 on my $10 I put in, right? You gotta point them to the neighborhoods, to the buildings you build, to the housing you done. What you said you would do. You said that you would use our funds collectively for the upliftment of our people. Yeah. And that's what you need to focus on. And then you say he, read it, understood.
Oh, yeah, he read it. You already know he read
it because I see it. That's where you focus. What did you say? Where is your heart? What was your mission? What are you doing? Put that out there. Shake them haters. Because haters gonna hate. You were just you were misguided in what you thought. You thought this was an individual grab when it's collective. You can't say nothing to these people who had never had property A and they got Jay's training and now they got 10, 11, 12, however many properties because this man cared enough to bring that information to a community of people. And then he did a collective, raise money collectively so we could fund it. They just didn't understand what they didn't understand. Yeah. A lot of times they just don't understand what they don't understand. They haven't been like me. I got ready to start a business, a billing service, and I'm going in with a white woman, right? White woman walks straight up into the bank and she get the money she asked for. Did I get the money I asked for? Absolutely not. But guess what? I could call my daddy. Daddy, I need this much money because we had to pay a lady to write this program or whatever. I got my part of the money, but I didn't get it the way she got it. And so while you hating on somebody, if you don't know what we had to go through to get to where we are, then you don't really understand how things operate for us as a people. Yeah. Then we're running the business and she has a nice little CPA, right? So her stuff is straight. I'm over here struggling because what CPA do I know? I didn't know a CPA, right? I'm in Texas. Maybe if I was in Milwaukee where my dad was and he had his business and I remember he had his accountant and his accountant his name was Leo and I think he was Jamaican, but he handled them books for him, right? And so he had somebody like that. I didn't. So when tax time came around, they would get a good chunk of my money because I had no defenses, because I didn't have the knowledge. It wasn't in place for me. So if I were to make it to where other people make it, you don't know what it took for me to get there. Don't hate on me. But if I make it, you got to understand I made it, and that's what's important. And if I made it, I was talking to a young lady at In the City Market. She was explaining to me that she was adopted, and then she was saying my brother is this and my sister is this, like from different nationalities. And then she said 2 of them are Black, and I said, "Oh, what is that? What do you mean by they're Black?" Like I'm looking at her and she's Black, and I'm like, "So what do you mean Black?" And so we kind of had to kind of break that down. And so y'all know I be getting lost in my thoughts sometimes. But anyway, the young lady I got it back. Anyway, so the young lady is Haitian. And I was able to kind of share with her because I've taken the time. I have Haitian grandchildren. And I've taken the time to obtain some information, knowledge, right? So, if I say voodoo, if I say voodoo, the very first thing that is pictured in my mind is a little what they show probably on TV and in the movies. You got a little dial and you stick it with pins, and then it affects the person, whoever you made the dial up to be, right? Mm-hmm. No, there's a whole spiritual system called voodoo, right? And if we understood some of the spiritual principles that are a part of our world, our society, us as a people, then we can move further faster. So I was telling her there's the principle of lekbar. Lekbar, and when you understand that principle, it is that once I make it, Tony, I just kick the door open. I got to be guiding and pulling other people in. I am not supposed to get up there and be by myself. That's a problem. Lekbar. So it's not like I've made it so far, but where I am now, it's nothing I wouldn't do to get somebody else straight in this door. And then if I can't get no further, I'm pushing them. Get on up there. And you know what? I can say that I've had the privilege of seeing it with my own eyes. See so many young Black teachers come in and they are doing phenomenal things in those classrooms. So more children are getting better. I want to think, not me per se. I'm just doing what I came in there to do, right? But because I was where I was, I have the opportunity to see those that came after me go beyond me and do above what I've been able to do. They love them kids. They bring in the extra. They do the do. You hear me? They got technology. They do the do. And so instead of me going, no, I gotta rejoice because I remember when it was just me or a few others. I don't even know if I ever seen another somebody straight crazy like me. I really don't. I really don't. I really don't. Closet crazy like me. They talk behind my, maybe a couple. They'll talk behind the door about, oh, I hate the way they do them kids.
Yeah.
Speak up. Do something. What did you don't tell me they're here. When I'm sitting in the meeting and I'm advocating for kids, I'm advocating for you as a teacher. Could you not stand up and say something then too? Could you not? No, y'all just so anyway, but the mindset. Mindset. We gotta open the door. The progress that we've made, we gotta be willing to share and give back and push people along. And then once they get there, they got fresher, newer little brains, and you get over here, and then you moving up there, and you're our joy. You become the joy of who we are. We're not mad. Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad. I don't know about anybody else. I'm not mad at all. No, I'm glad.
And it goes back to the topic. When you think like that and operate like that, that takes the pressure off you.
The pressure's off.
Yeah, because you understand that it's us now. It's not just me. I'm not individualized. I'm not, it's just one me against the world. The different sayings that we all say, I'm one deep and all that. Once you understand that, no, I am part of a community and we are part of building and we're doing some great things. It's still a certain type of pressure, of course, but it's less pressure than when you just trying to figure it out all by yourself, doing it all on your own, struggling all by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different pressure. So that goes to it. Like we got to figure out how to relieve pressure amongst each other, community-wise, mentally, because a lot of even these youth, a lot of their bad decisions because they feel pressured, even though, and their brains can't really figure out how to handle this pressure that I'm feeling, because sometimes it's not even as much pressure as they take it in, but they don't know how to process it like that. Right. Yeah, they can't even process that. Oh, this ain't really that much pressure. It's really just a normal little thing that you're supposed to go through at this age. Instead of that, they're acting like the world's ending and they're, you know what I'm saying? Yes. And nothing else is happening to no one else bad in this world but me and this and that. And when you give them a different world view and understanding, now these are the things that's going to happen. It's going to be worse things than this happen. How do you react is the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing. We got to learn how to, a lot of people talk about a lot of different skill sets and stuff, but we never teach or learn ourselves how to react when the things go bad, when it's tough times, when everything is just feel like it's just melting down. Your response and the way you react is sometimes the biggest cure for the whole problem. Like I be getting hit with stuff all the time. People around me like, don't nothing phase you. I'm like, how's it? Why would I let it phase me? Either I can do something about it or I can't. I'm not gonna strip. If I can't do something about it, what can I do? If I can't do nothing about it, it's life. I don't know.
See how that play out.
Yeah, you got to play it out. I'm not going to sit over here and bite my nails and stress out about it. If I can't change it, it is what it is. Whatever the result is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what else to say about it.
That's a key to unlock something for somebody who's in that position that doesn't get it, that they're really there, that you're in that spot when something happens that you're just, woo, and it's either you can do something or you can't. It was interesting. It was a training that I was on today, and the man was talking about how during the COVID, his son, just young man, started to lose it. I guess, it was, I'm sure it was very overwhelming. They're not in school for several years. They have people around them, whatever we're talking, whatever they may be seeing on the news. And he said at that point, when he saw that, he's like, his child doesn't know how to stand up under pressure against anything that might come against him. And so he starts his day every day with a challenge, doing something uncomfortable. So he took the young boy, and they would go and get in the sauna at 140 degrees and stay in there for at least 30 minutes. Okay, see, you can overcome whatever is coming in front of you. You got to get accustomed to it. Will come. And it will pass, and then you can face it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like doing training. So.
He's training. Yeah, he's training his mind to be able to, because the first thing that tells you can't do it is your mind. So once you build up your mindset, like that's why I'm kind of loony, because my mind think I can do everything, right? like it's nothing that I always tell you, anything that comes across my mind, I can do it. Or to me, I feel like it wouldn't have came across my mind. You know what I'm saying? It don't mean I need to do everything that comes across my mind. That don't mean I need to do everything that crosses it. But if it crosses it and I'm really feeling it, let's go. It came across my mind, so it's
let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
and I think people that do great things have thoughts like unto yours. Grandiose, big thoughts, impact. Like I said, Jay Morrison might have read that and he heard it and he understood. He may not have. But me, I at least had to share it. I thought it was important enough that should he read it, that this is what he needed to hear at the time. Or I could have said, oh, don't, not here, baby. Let me tell you something, baby. I don't know where you are, and there's none of them.
Yeah,
none of them that are out there, Tony, that I wouldn't have the same conversation with them that I would have with any other person in this community.
Yeah,
we're gonna have the same conversation, the exact same conversation. So my I thought about what the man said about him and his son, and making at the beginning of your day this challenging thing that you overcome, so the rest of the day just you can take it. And I said, I am going to get into the 5 o'clock club, and so the 5 a.m. club, and so that's what I'm reaching for. So every morning that I'm out of bed before the sun goes up, that's uncomfortable. Because I'd rather be, or this is what I thought, but I'm trying to get in the 5 a.m. club. And then when I make it into the 5 a.m. club, then the discomfort will be gone and I can find me another challenge for my day. But right now I'm working my way into the 5 a.m. club, and I'm up before the sun. Yeah, because before I was like, I ain't waking up till the sun hit the window. Okay. For what? Anyway, but if I want to really enjoy my days, then I'm not going to spend 2-3 hours in the morning just laying around that I don't need to. And I sleep good. It really kick in.
So you ain't just wasting that time. You actually get some good rest.
Not at all. So
and that's good. And that's where pressure is good. Like I put myself under a lot of pressure. And what you do, you put yourself under a type of pressure that you're uncomfortable with. And I do that, and I do that too. Like to finish my book, I tell people all the time, I kept putting my book, I kept putting it off, right? And I'm about to do the same thing with this movie, because I've been having this movie wrote for 2 years, so that's another thing. But I was putting the book off, and I just posted one day, Street Slide Tours be coming soon, and I got like over 100 people that say, "Oh, I'm waiting on it." That pressured me to go ahead and finish it. Like I put myself in, even though, because I wasn't nowhere near finished when I made that post. Okay, now you just put in that atmosphere. You pressured to do this. Now you got to come through with the book, because people gonna be like, "What happened to that book you talking about?" You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people be like, no, I don't want to talk about it too soon. I don't want to put it out there because you're scared to put that pressure on you. Now you got the community pressure. Like, Miss Rhonda, you posted about your book was coming soon. Why it's been 6 months? That's why, you know what I'm saying? I think you need to make that post and say, I got a book coming soon, and put yourself under that pressure, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, that's cute, Tony. It's not going to happen. That was cute, though. You play too much.
That's a good pressure, though. You know what I'm saying? It worked for me.
Well, right now let's get in the 5 a.m. club.
Okay.
Then I probably will have, if I get in the 5 a.m. club, I can have 5 to 7. I can have 2 hours daily, period. 2 hours daily with uninterrupted. So maybe that's the purpose for the 5 a.m. club. Because right now I hit the flow. And it is. It just is. Yeah. And so so the 5 a.m. club, and then I'll put the pressure of the book.
You go to the steps.
Not that there's so much pressure. It's just so many of them out there. It's so many of them out there. But I did package, and I've started some things. I can pull, I can probably pull some things together. But it's coming. I know that it's coming. It's all about timing. It's coming.
It's not here. You're just more a personalized audio book because you give out jewels all day long as you're talking, but we just trying to get you to package it in a book. That's all. You know what I'm saying? You already do it naturally. We're just trying to figure out how to make it into a book. So it's not as hard as you think because you do it.
It's coming. It's gonna come.
So I didn't mean to see that was once again we talking about pressure. I didn't mean to put no pressure on her. I was trying to inspire her. That's what that was.
Right. But just a reminder, Miss Brown. You remember that book you talked about?
Yeah. That book.
It's gonna happen.
It's definitely gonna happen. So as you get ready, I know tomorrow you hitting the road, right?
Yes.
So you get you some rest. Y'all leaving out early. Early. Y'all already got the schedule. Y'all already packed up and ready.
Got the schedule packed. Yep. Everything's ready. Everything's ready. And had a Cam came through for me today. I call him Cam because Camerons are just called Cam.
Yeah.
Just are.
Yeah, just automatic.
I was on a call with him, and wow, he's a awesome young man, exceptional. He really, gave me the opportunity to see something done well. And I think, again, bridging the gap, I come from a time where I don't know if it's still that way. I don't think it is as much, but I come from a time when we had to we couldn't half do anything. We had to exceed and over exceed in everything that we've done. Yeah. And so sometimes when I encounter people now and I see what they do and it's like substandard, and it's very challenging for me because I'm like, no, we deserve more from that. You're better than. Okay, we offered a whole minute. Hi. Oh, yes, Betty. Let's build. Community strong. You're doing it. You're not working on it. I'm building a community on YouTube. It's done. It's already done, and it's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
But so I know you get ready for this trip. I don't know next week because I think you said you're gonna be back on Tuesday, so it might. I don't know what we looking like next week because I know you're gonna be tired. Well, you say y'all leaving out.
Leave out early Tuesday. We'll probably get in
Wednesday.
I'm clapping, Betty. Yay! Show up, baby. I am building. Yes, you are.
Thank you.
So. We're leaving out from Memphis early, and from Memphis it'll be about 9 hours.
So we'll see if we how you feeling next week. I know it ain't gonna be Tuesday because we ain't gonna do nothing when you first get in. You need to go relax. So if you feel like catching up later on in the week, we will, but we'll just go off how you feeling. You know how it is because I don't know.
No pressure.
I know you got car lag off the last 2 trips. You know, I know you ain't getting no jet lag, but you've been getting car lag.
It was horrible. I'm coming down that road, and I'm like, and Jay don't talk. I'm like, baby, you need to be talking to me because I'm getting sleepy. And he just didn't get it. And it's funny, sometimes he gets in the car and he'll just talk, and then sometimes he's just quiet.
Ain't got nothing to say. Just chilling.
I absolutely love the brilliance of that young man. He has always been extremely exceptional, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see him do his thing. That's all I'm gonna say.
As we wrap it up, give us our, we need our tradition, our last words from you as you get ready to get on this road and travel and everything. Leave us something for the week.
Okay, something for the week,
or just a thought or whatever's on your mind. Just whatever's on your mind.
Okay. Older than I, we're buffering. She's a few years older than me, but as we talked about in the show, can you take a little time to find those precious memories? Reach out to the people that are still here. When we talk about the road trip, that road trip to Arizona, I just wanted to see my cousins. I connected with one of my cousins. I call her once a week. And the conversations I have with her can be with no other. I put on a post the other day about about friends. How many of them do you really have? Well, you can have friends and then you can have cousins, but it's beautiful to have people that you can connect with. And so what I want you to do, no pressure, but go ahead and appreciate those that are still with us while they're here. Have those precious memories now. Share those memories with the young people around you, the older people, and it'll make your heart happy. It'll make your heart light, and you'll see that every day is truly a present. Every day is a gift, and that you are part of that gift. You're our gift, and so walk in your light, walk in your love, and do what Betty's doing. Do what we're doing. Build. It's nothing like building. Start your building project now. And so that's it for this week. So appreciative. Wealth is Gangster, Tony the Real Johnson.
We got some. Once you get back, we'll have to have a little sit down and meeting, but we'll let you enjoy the family and y'all do all that.
Awesome, Nadisha.
Thank you for tapping.
Oh, there she is. How beautiful. Okay.
All right. Well, you be safe. This was another episode of Wealth is Gangster. We'll see y'all next week with another episode. Ms. Brown, you have a good, safe trip. We'll talk to you next week. Thank y'all for tapping in.
See you.
Oh yeah, Cameron. She told me she had a great time with you today, man. Thank you for tapping in too. I need to hit you up too. I'll get on the jack with you tomorrow, man. Thank y'all for tapping in. And I am out.